Okay, so you've probably heard a lot of the chatter lately. Global geopolitical tensions, economic sanctions,
Right.
and specifically, the criticism India's been facing about its trade relationship with Russia.
Yeah, that's definitely been in the headlines.
People often point to India's, well, its total trade volume with Russia, the big numbers.
Suggesting it undermines Western efforts, essentially.
Exactly. But what if? What if the way we're even measuring this is, well, flawed?
How so?
Well, today we're diving into a really interesting perspective. It's from Ryan Baidya. He's got a PhD and MBA from the Takshila Foundation.
Okay.
And he challenges this whole narrative. He asks this simple but actually quite profound question. Imports for whom?
Okay. I see where this might be going. So that's our mission today, then.
Pretty much.
To explore if India's imports from Russia are really excessive, maybe disproportionate is the word used, but looking at it through a different lens.
More people-centric lens, yeah. Moving past just the gross totals.
Yeah. Right. And we'll focus on the numbers from Baidya's analysis specifically.
Absolutely. And just to be clear, we're aiming to, impartially lay out the ideas and the data he presents. We're not taking sides on any of the politics here.
Got it. Just exploring the analysis itself. Okay.
So let's tackle that common argument first. The one that says India's rising imports from Russia are basically funding Russia's war economy.
Yeah, you hear that a lot, and it almost always comes back to those large overall trade figures, the total value. But this core argument from the source, from Baidya, it shifts things dramatically.
How so?
It basically says, look, goods and services, they aren't consumed by territories like square kilometers or by governments. They're consumed by people, individual.
Right. That makes sense.
So therefore, if you're trying to evaluate fairness or proportionality, especially with imports from a country under scrutiny, then the metric that really matters, the relevant one, should be per capita, per person, not just the gross total.
Per capita imports.
Yeah. It makes you think, doesn't it? How does just changing that one metric, how does that change the whole story we thought we knew?
That's a really critical distinction.
Yeah.
And this is where the numbers Baidya uses really make you stop and think.
Okay, let's get into them.
Let's look at the data he outlines for the first half of 2025, so January to June.
Right.
For India, total exports from Russia were estimated around, say, $25 to $26 billion.
Oh.
Sounds like a lot.
It does, yeah, on its own.
But India's population is estimated at, 1.46 billion people?
Huge population.
So when you actually do the math, India's per capita import from Russia works out to about $17.10.
$17.10 per person.
Okay.
Now, the interesting part must be the comparison.
Exactly. What's really fascinating here is how India stacks up against other major economic blocs using the same per capita view.
So who are we comparing with? The EU.
The U.S.
Let's take the European Union. The EU. During that exact same period, Jan to June 2025.
Okay.
They imported an estimated $6.5 to $7.7 billion from Russia. Much lower total than India, obviously. Right, significantly lower total.
But the EU's population is around 450 million.
Okay.
So their per capita import from Russia, it actually ranged from $14.70 up to $17.10.
Wait, so I'll make this straight. India's was about $17.10 per capita.
Yep.
And the EU's was somewhere between $14, $17, and $17.10 per capita.
That's right.
So India's per capita import from Russia is, well, it's roughly the same as the European Union.
Pretty much identical, or
Yeah.
very, very close, depending on the exact estimates you use for the EU side.
Wow, okay. Despite India's total trade figure being so much higher.
Massively higher in total terms.
That really drives home the point, doesn't it? That focusing only on gross totals can be, well, statistically quite misleading.
It really can skew the picture.
It's like you said, the imports for whom question becomes critical.
And just for contrast, let's quickly glance at the U.S.
Okay, what about the U.S.?
They imported about $1.5 billion from Russia in that same time frame.
Okay, lower total again.
And with a population of around 347 million, their per capita import was only about $4.30.
$4.30, so significantly lower than both India and the EU, both in total and per capita terms.
Correct.
So this brings us back to the criticism. Those accusations about disproportionately helping Russia economically, when those are made without adjusting for population size, how fair is that, really? Or even how accurate?
Well, the analysis we're looking at argues it's potentially both statistically misleading and may be morally unfair.
Right. It emphasizes that if fairness is what we're aiming for in these comparisons,
Yeah.
then the comparison really ought to reflect consumption on a per-person basis. It seems logical.
So for you listening, trying to make sense of these, complex global issues,
Yeah, what's the takeaway?
what this really highlights is that the way we frame things, the metrics we choose to measure economic relationships,
Yeah.
it can totally change our perception.
It changes the story.
Completely. And this perspective suggests maybe it's time to reframe the discussion. Use metrics that actually reflect reality, that goods serve individuals.
Not abstract entities like, landmass or political bloc.
Exactly.
So, summing up, really, this deep dive shows how just shifting from total import figures to a per capita analysis can fundamentally alter how we understand a country's economic role.
Especially when it comes to sensitive geopolitical stuff like this.
Absolutely. It just underlines how important it is to really scrutinize the metrics we're using, question the basis for the conclusions being drawn.
And this reframing, it really makes you question how we measure and compare national efforts, responsibilities maybe, on the world stage more broadly. So for you, the listener, it kind of begs the question, doesn't it?
Which is?
What other areas of international comparison? Think about resource consumption or maybe environmental impact.
Yeah.
Even something like aid distribution.
Yeah.
Might they look profoundly different? Might we get totally different insights if we analyze them through a per capita lens?
That's a really provocative thought.
It is. It just invites you to think about how critical the right context is whenever you're looking at global data. Something to chew on.